just finished a surf session. So there's a pretty big swell that just came into town, and Ki'ili sat out on this one. I would say it's a good double overhead, and on the set's a little bit bigger. Really clean, a lot of closeouts out there. Now, there's no footage of it because when the waves are good, there's only me and Atua to do the filming, and usually it's me. And I wasn't gonna sit inside and film this. And plus, it was kind of big, so I wanted to be out there with Atua. So Atua, what'd you think of the waves today? How'd it feel?
Yeah, well, on the waves that I caught, I felt like I had like a ton of speed and felt really could feel the power.
His heart was pounding when we got out there. It was funny because we went and checked the waves, so we drove the quad down to the point, and the tide was still coming up, and we could tell, you know, everybody was talking about this swell, and we were like, oh wow, look, there's like, you know, 6 guys out, and there was like 3 people paddling out, and there was like 2 people getting pounded on the inside, and we're like, oh wow, the waves look good, let's grab our boards, hurry up and get out there before the wind turns on. Because one of the things that happens here is around 9, 10 o'clock, the wind turns onshore, and it'll go from like glassy, really nice conditions to kind of blown out and not very surfable, just all closed out. So we grab our boards, we come back, and everybody's gone. There's 1 guy out there. So we take the rip out there, and it's our friend Pedro, who loves to charge big waves. He's the only guy out there, and I'm like, what happened? Where is everybody? And he's like, oh, you know, a big set came in, it cleaned everybody up, and then that was it. They never came back out. So if you guys know what a cleanup set is, basically, that's when like kind of a bigger wave that maybe isn't bigger than the normal sets, and it breaks a lot further out, and it basically just wipes everybody. It's like a big broom. People from Hawaii are very familiar with this, people that surf the North Shore. It's like a big broom that just basically just comes and just sweeps everybody in. And that's usually when the people that are like maybe intermediates and not, they're like, okay, yeah, that's it. So anyhow, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down to the beach, and we're just gonna go film it, and we're gonna answer a couple Q&As. Anyhow, we're almost gonna get to the beach. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just kind of film, see the sets, kind of showing you guys. I doubt there's gonna be anybody out surfing because it's kind of onshore and kind of big, and
if there was like almost no one out when it was glassy. Then.
Yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of people. Oh, my arm is getting tired. Hey, how's it going? Hey, ran into a couple of Atua's friends. How you guys doing? You guys want to be on the video? Yeah. Just kind of passing through. So we got down to the beach, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna answer some Q&As, and we're gonna throw on the telephoto zoom lens, kind of zoom out, take some video while we answer these questions of the waves. There's nobody out, but it's actually pretty clean. It blew out, and then it backed off, and there's nobody on it. I mean, like, nobody out there, and there's actually some good waves.
First question by Templo Shallow. Hey guys, I've never surfed, but I'd like to start. I refuse to start on a longboard. I'd like to get a shortboard. I'm 5'11", 205 pounds. What size board should I get? Thanks.
All right, so to start off with, you know, starting out on a longboard is not mandatory. It's just a recommended thing because you have a lot more success if you're a brand new beginner on a longboard, and you're going to get more waves, and you're going to learn a lot quicker, and you're just going to have more success, and more success means you're probably going to stick with it more. Whereas if you start out on a short board just because you know everybody thinks you think it's cool, and those are all the fancy looking boards in the surf shops, you're going to struggle a little bit. But if you really don't want to get on a longboard and you want to go straight to a shortboard, I would personally recommend that you start on either a mini mal or a hybrid fish. What was his size? What did it say he was?
He is 5'11".
5'11", 205. So I wrote this in the comments, but I would say that for your size, if you want to start off with a shortboard, between around 6'6" to 7'0" hybrid fish, somewhere in the 20, 21 and a half inches wide, minimum 2.5 inches thick, 2.5 to 2.6. And you know, if you're pretty athletic and you do other sports, you might be able to pick it up pretty quickly. Got any tips, Atua?
Yeah,
look at those
definitely.
waves.
Just bigger boards make it easier because it's more flotation.
Man, there's some Mac Daddies. All right, so next question.
By Theo Shaw. What are 3 big challenges you face surfing in Costa Rica?
That's actually a good question. You know, because some of the challenges here might not be what you think. So I'm going to say one of my challenges, and I'll let Atua go. Honestly, one of the big challenges here is it's easy to get lazy. It's easy to wake up and be like, you know, there's waves that are going to be there. I'll just go later. And then you kind of don't. You end up just doing something else, and then you don't go. And then you're like, well, the waves will be good tomorrow. So you kind of get out of that I guess you could say frothing mode, where you know, a lot of people that don't get the waves as much and have to wear wetsuits. So that's one challenge. What do you got?
Well, I think maybe sometimes in the rainy season when there's lots of rain, like every day, sometimes it'll be stormy in the morning, and then when there's like lightning and thunder, you don't always want to go surfing.
Yeah, the thunder in our area, lightning, there was one death a couple years ago. A guy got struck by lightning. So that's definitely a challenge, because in the rainy season for about 4 or 5 months, the lightning can come out of nowhere. And a lot of people just surf, but I'm like, we're out of here. Another challenge for me would be, I found being a bigger guy who surfs smaller boards, it's hard to find equipment or shapers that know how to make boards for my size. Down here, they're all making boards for all these little guys. So what ends up happening is when they make a bigger board in the 6'2", 6'4", 6'5" range for me, instead of it being a proper short board for a bigger guy, it's like a step-up board for a smaller guy. So that's been a challenge of mine. Anything else, Tua? I guess that's 3, huh? All right, next question.
Third question by Callum Muzzlewhite. Please answer this in video. Every time I try to cut back from a bottom turn, my opposite rail dips down and I slow down and lose the wave.
Opposite, so let me see. Let's say we're going right, and then we go to cut back this way. Opposite rail, I'm assuming you mean the outside rail, so you actually end up coming off your rail. That's kind of I think that's what you mean. So you're saying you go into a cutback, but then you end up getting off your rail. Probably 2 things. Probably 1, you're not compressing enough. So if you're too tall, it's easy for the board to throw you off balance and get off the rail. And the second thing is the other thing it could be is you're turning too far out on the shoulder. So if you don't have enough steepness into the wave, you're going to lose your speed, and it's going to kind of kick you off the back. That's the only thing I can think of without seeing you. Next question. All right.
Fourth question by Jordan Neal. I surf goofy, but when I skateboard, I'm natural because it feels more comfortable. Do you think I should change to goofy?
Man, my arm is getting sore. I'm actually using 2 hands to hold this camera right now. You know, that's kind of a weird thing. People, I've seen it a couple times where guys skate one way and they surf a different way. So he was asking if you should change to goofy, as in change his skateboarding to goofy?
No, he said his skateboarding's goofy, but his surfing's...
Read it again. Read it again.
Okay. I'm natural because I surf goofy. Oh no, I surf goofy, but when I skateboard, I'm natural because it feels more comfortable. Do you think I should change to goofy?
So he's saying, should he change skateboarding to goofy?
Yeah, change to skateboard.
Well, I would say whichever one you started first, you can try. I would say if it feels comfortable, don't change anything. But if you started surfing first and you surfed goofy, and then you started skateboarding, you might want to try to skate as a goofy. But if you skated first as a natural, and then you started surfing as a goofy, you might want to try surfing as a natural. Whichever one you started first and put the most time in is probably your more natural stance.
If you try it and it just feels horrible, then I would just stick with what you're doing.
Right, if it feels good, always stick with what you're doing. Surfing is a lot about feeling, so if it feels right, stay with it. Next.
5th question by Locke. I want to start to surf. I've used friends' boards before and I can stand up. Do you think I should get a foam or fiberglass board? Also, if I get a foam board, do I wax it, and if so, where?
All right, so, you know, my opinion is if you're going to actually buy a surfboard, go with a fiberglass so you can grow into it and you can surf it for many years. I'm assuming you're talking about like a Malibu or a longboard or something like that. Yeah, because you wouldn't buy a shortboard foam board. I mean, you can, but it would be like a black ball beater or something like that. You know, if you're starting off, you might want to get on a foamy a couple times, maybe with a surf instructor. You know, get the few basics under your feet, but then if you're going to go invest the money, get a regular surfboard, get a fiberglass. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
And last question by Brody Briggs.
Brody Briggs.
Oh, those are G's?
Yes.
Sorry. Brody Briggs. What are your board sizes?
All right. So we've answered this a few times, but I guess this changes constantly as the kids grow and get older. So Ki'ili over here, she's, how many pounds are you weighing nowadays, Ki'ili?
Like 80.
80 pounds. Wow, she's getting bigger. She's growing. So Ki'ili surfs.
5.0.
She has a 5.0, a 5.1, and she has a 4.11. Currently, the board she's doing most of her surfing on is a 5.1 with good volume, so she catches waves pretty easy.
18 inches wide.
Yeah, 18 wide. Her other one was 17.5 inches wide and like 2 inches thick. Atua, what you got?
Well, I weigh like a little bit over 110 pounds, and the board that I'm using right now, my main one, it's a 5.4, and I'm pretty sure it's like 18 and like a quarter, or somewhere. It's like 18 and a quarter, or 18 and a half inches wide, and I'm pretty sure it's 2
and a quarter.
2 and a quarter, or 2 and 3.
No, it's not 2 3/4.
2 and a
it's 2 and a quarter
inches thick.
You wouldn't be able to surf it if it was 2 3/4. So, yeah, Atua has been also gaining weight, and Atua's height right now is about 5'5", maybe even 5'5.5". So he's actually an inch or two bigger than his surfboard. So he's probably going to outgrow it real soon. And for me, I surf a 6.0 and a 6.2. Those are usually the boards. Usually the 6.0 is like more the small wave board, and the 6.2 is my regular standard surfboard. Dimensions, I usually go 6'2", 19.5 by 2.5. The current board that I'm surfing right now is a little bit thicker than 2.5 because I wanted to go the extra volume and get a little bit older, and I'm getting a little bit lazier. So is that it? If you guys will have any more questions, we'll try to answer as many as we can in video. Just pop it in the comments below. Try to keep it not too long if possible, because if it's really long, I'm not going to write it on a piece of paper like I did today. Keep surfing, keep ripping, keep learning, keep the stoke. Pura vida and aloha. We'll see you guys in the next video.